नमस्कार। अब हम अगले टॉपिक की बात करते हैं, दैट इज द morphology of the fruits, or we have to talk about the fruits one. Means first of all we have to know what are these fruits. Generally we all know that after the fertilized, right, gestation will take place in the plants, as well as and when the fertilized and reproduced ovary is a fruit. Generally, as we know that after the fertilization, the ovary then be changed into the fruit, and the ovule will change into the seed one. So we can say, especially the fruit may consist the pericarp, or we can say fruit wall, or the seed one. But still we all know that these fruits and these seeds can be developed in flower, right? Or we can say during the fertilization the different changes will take place in that flower, in which we can say the ovules present in the develop into the seeds, as I have told you, right? And we can say the wall of the ovary which is thickened and ripened into the pericarp, and that is called the fruit wall. So this way it will form the fruits one. But sometimes the people can say about the some true fruits and the false fruit, right? For that we have to know that when the fruit will develop from the fertilized ovary, that is called the true fruits, right? As we can see, it has two parts, that it can a pericarp and the seed one. But on the other hand, when the fruit develop from any other part, we can say, or the part of the flower along with ovary, means the part which can be always with the ovary, they can known as the false fruit. As we all have seen, the thalamus grows along with the ovary, right, to form a false fruit. Directly we can say, whenever the thalamus type of fruit can be developed into such a characters, in that particular condition we can say they are the false fruit. As you all know, Pyrus malus, especially you can say apple, right? Apple generally is not a true fruit, it is developed with the help of the rather than the ovary. Means whenever ovary is along with the thalamus, in that condition this apple will form, so it is a false fruit. And we can say on the some other fruits like the mango and coconut, right, they are known as the drip, as it can be developed in the monocarpally superior ovaries and have only one seed in them. And we can say in mango, pericarp is well differentiated into outer, right, thin epicarp and middle fleshy and edible mesocarp, and the inner stony hard endocarp, right? So we can say such structures can be found in the such type of plants on the fruits one. And we can also know that the ovary, after changing into the fruit, it but if a fruit is formed without fertilization, sometimes some fruits can be formed without fertilizations, that is called the parthenocarpic fruits, like the banana, grapes, pineapple, etc. Right? We can say generally these parthenocarpic plants, flowers and fruit does not contain any type of seed. Means all the seedless plants, we can say that they all are the parthenocarpic fruits. So such a conditions, as I told you, like the banana, grapes and pineapple, so on. And we can say the fruit consists of all or the pericarp and seed, and these pericarp may be dry or fleshy. Means sometimes this pericarp may be dry one or the fleshy one, right? When we can say the pericarp is thick and fleshy, right, we can especially we have known that when this pericarp is thick and fleshy, and it can be divided into different parts, right? That is on the basis of epicarp, mesocarp and the endocarp. Means epicarp is the outermost covering of that fruit, mesocarp that fleshy substance which can be edible, right? and endocarp with the layer which can be surrounded around any seed one. So this way we can say, especially in that condition, right? If you can compare this epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp with the coconut, right? As you all have seen, the outermost part in the part, right, generally they have the endo part, and the husk type of structure which can be seen into the this plant, that is the epicarp, right? So after that we have to talk about the classification of these fruits, right? Generally the fruits can be classified different categories, right? Especially there are three types of the fruits are found in our surroundings, in which we can say the simple fruit, which can be always developed from the monocarpally or the syncarpous ovary of the single flower. We can say they have one flower and one fruit, right? And aggregate fruit, we can say they develop from the apocarp ovary of the single flower, right? And one flower, many fruits are can be seen over there in that particular conditions, right? In on the other hand, we can again say that the multiple fruits, right? Especially in the case of the multiple fruits, they can, we can say they will develop from the many flowers or entire inflorescence many flowers with single fruits, means they can be capable to do the such type of things in that particular conditions. As I have already told you about the these on the basis of this ovary, they may be apocarpic or syncarpous. As means apocarp, as we can talk about in the syncarpous and the monocarpary, means there is a single one, and syncarpous ovaries, I have told you that when the carpus are fused together with the gynoecium, right? When the carpus are fused together with the gynoecium, that structure is formed the syncarpus. And if we talk about the apocarpus, in which when the more than one carpel is present, right, and they may be free in that particular conditions, they are known as apocarpus. So such a condition through which these types of the fruits can be developed. We have to just come talk in later, and we have to talk in details also, right? As you can see, the different types of the fruits and the classification in this table, right? As the simple fruits, aggregate fruits, and the composite or multiple fruits, we can say, right? In the simple fruit, they may be succulent fruits and the dry fruits, right? As you all know about that one. So there are different kinds of fruits can be formed in different ways. So then we have to talk about some specific things that in detail, especially about in this types of the group and such kinds of fruits, right? So if we can talk about types of the simple fruits, especially in the simple fruits, there may be, right, drupe, berry, pome, and the capsules like structures, right? So we can have seen, or we are all are familiar with all these kinds of the fruits. One, we can say in drupe it may be simple fleshy fruit, right? It can develop from the monocarpally and multicarpally syncarpous ovary structures, right? On the other hand, we can say berry, they semi fleshy fruits, right? In the same way, these all different kinds of fruits are found in different ways. It may be leguminous, carpulous, right, luminance, and caprocarp. So many types of fruits are found over there. In the same way, we can say if we talk about the aggregate fruits, right? Generally, I think we are not familiar with them directly, right? But we all have seen and eat the different types of, that is custard apple, champaka, and raspberry, right? Means they can type of aggregate fruits. How we can say that single flower produces many fruits, right, in clusters is, and each tiny fruit is called the fruitlet, and we can see the bunch of fruits is called the aterium, right? So these fruits are the developed form of the polycarpally apocarpous ovaries, and we can say atrio of the drupes, we can say it is a cluster of drupe types of fruit like raspberry, right? On the other hand, we can say the aterio that is follicles, in which we can say they are the clusters of the follicles type of fruits, that is champaka, as well as the entry of the berries, we can say the cluster of berry type fruit, that is called custard apple. आप लोगों ने शरीफा खाया होगा तो शरीफे में आपको इस टाइप का स्ट्रक्चर देखने को और खाने को मिलता है. Then we have to talk about the multiple fruits, right? Multiple fruits, I think you all have familiar with jackfruit. What is that jackfruit? I think everybody known about the kathal, right? That is the best examples of the multiple fruits. We can see they have the different eatable parts, fleshy axis, barkets, perianth, and the seeds. They all are eatable in that particular conditions, right? So we can talk about the, generally they are the Syconus and the Sorosis type of plants are found over there, right, or fruits are found over there. So we can say generally the Sorosis, we can say, develop from the spike and the spadix inflorescence, jackfruit, like, and pineapple and lychee and mulberry. These are different structures through which we can classify them and we can capable to eat them. And Syconus fruits, we can say, they can be developed from the hypanthodium inflorescence, that is because, right, these are different examples of these type of fruits. To talk about the what are the different importance of the fruits. Basically we can say the fruits are the source of vitamins, organic acids, minerals, pectin, sugar, and some of them are used as the vegetable also, like we can say okra, that is ladyfinger, tomato, pumpkin, cucumber, and gourd. Generally they are the fruit one, but still they can be utilized as the vegetables, right? On the other hand, we can say the cereals are one-seeded dry fruits from the staple food of humans, right one. On the other hand, we can say generally we can get the fruits are important food for fruiting eating birds, right? Generally these fruits are very important for the different type of these organisms, different types of these things, that they can easily to stable and they can be eaten by the different organisms, especially the lots of animals, lots of the birds can which are depend to eat the different kinds of fruits, means the frugivorous, right? So we can say they can be found over there. And we also say that the some fruits are also used as the medicines, we can say, especially as the, we can talk about the Amblyca officinalis, right? And we can say that is amla, dhatura, right? And Papaver seminiferum means seminiferum. Papaver seminiferum, it is generally utilized as the poppy plants. It is also helpful for the development of the different kinds of medicines for our daily use, which can be very necessary for the developing of such kind of things, which can be very useful for us one, right? We can say that they means they protected immature seed against the climatic conditions till their maturity. And we last one, we can say that the fruits can very important because the unripe fruits are bitter due to the presence of tannins and bitter alkaloids and acids. Sometimes we can say why जो कच्चे फ्रूट्स होते हैं वो कड़वे होते हैं, हम ऐसा मानते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा खट्टे होते हैं. उसके पीछे रीज़न यही है कि जनरली इन दैट पर्टिकुलर कंडीशंस दिस अनरिप फ्रूट्स, right, have tannins and bitter alkaloids and astringents and sour acids, due to which they can be formed away. And generally these substances can very helpful for these plants, these fruits, that animals can always away, keep the away from these fruits also, right? So students, after that we have to talk about the morphological structure of these seeds. We have to know what are different, as you have seen in the different types of seeds. Generally, as I told you, the ovule after fertilization develop into seeds, and a seed made up of the seed coats and an embryo. An embryo is made up of the radicals and the embryonical axis, and right, as we can say, some seeds have one cotyledon and some seeds have two cotyledons, right, in that particular condition. So we can say, but these seeds may be also explained on the basis of another thing also. We can say when the seeds lacking of endosperm, that is called X albuminous and or the non-endosperm, right, seeds, while the seeds with endosperm, they are known as albuminous seeds in their structures. But we have to talk about especially about the types of seed, that is the monocot and the dicot seed structures, right? Especially as you can see in this diagram over here, in which you can understand about this dicot and the monocot seed structure, right? If we talk about especially the dicot seeds, right, generally you all are familiar with the gram seed in a dicot seed, right, and we can say it can be always formed pod or legume. We can say the outermost covering of the seed coat is also present there, and endosperm is absent over there, right? On the other hand, we can say, if we can talk out direct to the structure of the dicotyledon seeds, they can, you are seeing into the diagram, generally the seed can be found in the external structure and the internal structure, right? If we talk about their external structure, generally they have a light, right, light colors, and its surface may be smooth or the wrinkled, and some oval scrap present in the side, that is called hilum, right? And we can say especially in that particular conditions that they have a narrow ridge called the raphe and runs from the hilum to the chalaza inside the flower. And we can also say a small pore, that is called micropyle, present between the hilum and the pointed end. And if we can also known that the outer covering of the seed is, that is called the seed coat. The outer hard and leathery layer of the coat is called the testa, and the inner thin membranous, that is called the tegmen, as you can see into the diagram one, right? And if we talk about the innermost part of the seeds, then in that particular condition the seed coat encloses embryo with the different condition, that is called radicle, plumule and cotyledons. And radicle develop into the root and plumule develop into the shoot, and cotyledon may be one or two, which can be always help to serve the food one, right? And if we talk about the hypocotyle, this is a part of the which can be present between the point of attachment of the cotyledon and radicle, where the cotyledon and radicle are attaching to each other. That particular part is called the what? Hypocotyle, right? And that hypocotyle can found in such structures, and the other part, that is called epicotyle, that is present between the point of the cotyledon and plumule. Just be alert that hypocotyle is a part of the seed where the cotyledon and radicle is attached, that is hypocotyle, and epicotyle where the plumule and cotyledon is attached over there. And the last, we can say some seeds such as castor seeds, the endosperm form as the result of the double fertilization in these plants. So this can be classified in such structures. And if we can talk about the monocotyledon seeds, in which structures, as you can see especially in the diagram, this one, right, this is the monocotyle seeds diagram, right? I think everybody known about this one. This is called the monocotyle, right? So in such structures, right, you can compare the endosperm is bulky and store food, and the outer covering of the endosperm separate can be the embryo by the proteinous layer, that is called aileron layer, right? Means their outer can it be always protect with the help of that one. And we can say the embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm, and we can say it can also consist of one large seed shaped cotyledon known as scutellum, and short axis with the plumule and radicle. The plumule and radicle are enclosed with the covering that is called coleoptile and the coleorhiza respectively. Means generally we can say plumule is covered with the coleoptile and the radicle can covered with the coleorhiza. So we can say the coleoptile has the terminal pore for the emerging of the first leaf during the germination. Means this coleoptile can be always helpful for the development because it is the covering of the plumule one. And we can say these seeds can also help the future shoot in passing through the soil during the germinations. And as you all have seen, the maize grains in whitish, yellow, violet or red in color, these can be found in such structures, right? So these are the monocotic plants, and we can say generally when these seeds can be also dispersed by different organisms, right? If we can say the fruit or these fruits can be dispersed by the bat, in that particular condition we can call that ornithochorus, right? On the other hand, when the seeds and fruits are dispersed by ant, that is called the Myrmecophore, right? That is called Myrmecophore, right? So these are the different ways through which these seeds can be transported from one place to another place, and this way this chapter is also completed. That is morphology of the flowering plant. Not exactly. There is one more topic is remains, that is called the descriptions of the typical flowering plants. Means about related to the flower formula and floral diagram. So in coming videos we will talk about those one and some families also. So students, you must prepare your notes, and if you have still any problem you can just ask me in your query class. Thank you.